Welcome to my YouTube channel. Silent Ronin. He dreamed of becoming someone extraordinary, yet every morning he woke with the same familiar weight pressing him back into bed. His mind burned with plans and visions of success, but his body refused to move, as if ambition and action lived in different worlds. The more he dreamed, the more disgusted he felt with himself. He wasn't afraid of failure, he was afraid that his life would pass with nothing but dreams to show for it. His name was Aiko, a young man in a coastal village where the days repeated themselves without promise or surprise. Fishermen rose before dawn, children followed their parents' paths, and expectations were inherited like names. Aiko felt trapped by the predictability, convinced he was meant for something greater. But every attempt to train, learn, or change ended the same way, short bursts of effort followed by long stretches of avoidance and guilt. Each night, he promised himself tomorrow would be different. And each tomorrow proved him wrong. The shame became unbearable, not because others judged him, but because he judged himself relentlessly. He wondered if he was broken, if some people were simply born without discipline. The more he thought about success, the heavier it felt, like a mountain he could never climb. One evening, after another wasted day, Aiko wandered along a forgotten path near the cliffs. There, hidden among trees bent by sea winds, stood an old dojo barely holding together. Inside, an elderly samurai practiced slow, deliberate movements, each one precise and calm. Aiko watched, mesmerized, until the samurai spoke without turning around. "If you're going to watch, you might as well step inside." Aiko poured out his frustration, his ambition, his laziness, his fear of dying unnoticed. The samurai listened quietly, then handed him a cloth and pointed to the dusty floor. "Clean," he said. "No philosophy, no encouragement, just that." Aiko felt insulted but obeyed. When he finished, the samurai nodded once and dismissed him. Confused and disappointed, Aiko left, convinced he had wasted his time. Yet the next day, something pulled him back. Again, he cleaned. Again, nothing else happened. This continued for days. His mind rebelled, demanding faster results, bigger lessons. But slowly, the routine carved out something unexpected: consistency. The task was too small to fear, too simple to resist. Without realizing it, Aiko began showing up without arguing with himself. Weeks later, the samurai added a single sword strike after the cleaning. Just one. Aiko laughed at the simplicity but followed instructions. One strike became 5, then 10. Not because he was told to, but because stopping felt stranger than continuing. The weight he once felt before starting began to disappear, replaced by a quiet rhythm. There were setbacks. Days when Aiko skipped training, choosing comfort over effort. When he returned ashamed, the samurai said only, "You came back." That simple acknowledgement broke something inside him. He realized discipline wasn't perfection, it was return. Again and again. Months passed. Aiko changed, not dramatically, but deeply. His movements sharpened, his mind steadied. The village noticed, but Aiko no longer craved their approval. He was too busy becoming reliable to himself. His ambition no longer screamed, it whispered and guided. One day, the samurai challenged him to a duel. Fear surged. Old doubts returned. Aiko lost the fight quickly, landing hard on the ground. He waited for disappointment, but received a smile. "You are stronger than yesterday," the samurai said. "That is victory." That night, the samurai explained the lesson. "Kaizen," he said. "Small improvement every day. You were never lazy. You were crushed by the size of your own dreams." Aiko finally understood. Ambition needed structure, not punishment. When Aiko returned home, his life looked ordinary, but it wasn't. He trained daily, learned patiently, failed often, and continued anyway. He stopped waiting for motivation and built momentum instead. Years later, when others asked how he changed, Aiko would say, "I stopped trying to become great, and started becoming consistent." And in that truth lived the samurai's lesson. Greatness is built quietly, one small step at a time. And thanks to watching my video.